Hi there, and welcome to Q&A Wednesday. It's Facebook Live. Hey, yeah, I know, I got like really long locks. I feel like Goldilocks. It's just been kind of a fun week. I've actually had the extensions for almost a week now. It takes a little getting used to because it's a little heavier than normal, but it's kind of fun. So, hey, I have a great topic to talk about today, something that people really struggle with. I know that as adults, we don't think that we deal with peer pressure anymore or social issues, but honestly, it actually kind of gets worse because, you know, we start to have people that we really care about have opinions, and we tend to care what their opinions are of us. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I do want to give you just a quick tip or a quick heads up for next week. I will be out of town. Shh, my husband doesn't know this yet. It's our anniversary, so we're going to be doing something incredible for our 20th anniversary. I'll fill you in after the fact, but it's kind of a big surprise. So I will not be on Q&A Wednesday next week. However, the following week, I'm actually adding a special night, Thursday nights at 7 p.m. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, kind of a Melissa Fillmore Unplugged, talking a little bit more personal about life experiences and life coaching. And, you know, a lot of what we talk about here, even though it has a lot to do with fitness, you and I both know that the emotional and mental aspect of it is much more complicated and difficult to deal with than the physical part of it. So we're going to approach that from a different side, and hopefully I can benefit you in some way. You know, I'm not perfect. I already know I'm not perfect, but hopefully the things that I've dealt with can help you out as well. Hi, Kenneth. So tonight we are talking about whether or not you are going to have to replace your friends in order to become healthy or live a healthy lifestyle. And I have kind of a couple of ideas on this, only because you know, I've been through it. You know, I have friends that no longer ask me to go out and do things because, you know what, they know I'm probably going to say no depending on the time of year that it is. So let's talk a little bit about this. Now, I'm a full believer that you actually become like the 5 closest people to you. So that's the 5 people that you hang around most. That could be friends, that could be family. That could be coworkers. So you really kind of have to take a look at who you're spending most of your time with, and then look at some of your habits and see if they correlate and you know, have a lot in common with the people that you tend to spend a lot of time with. Now, I actually did a little bit of research this afternoon, trying to get some numbers and some research on this. And I actually found a site called Skill-Based Fitness. And the author of the article that I read, his name is Darian Beatty. And some of the statistics that he came up with is that, first of all, he talked about that fitness is highly social. And we'll talk a little bit about that, about who you put in your life that may affect you, whether good or bad, in this situation. But the couple of numbers that really got to me were, if you have a close friend who gains weight in a given time period, you have a 57% greater likelihood of also gaining weight in that same time period. I found that really, really fascinating. You know, again, close friends, spend a lot of time with, partially because you tend to have similar habits and do similar things together. The second one was, if a friend in your immediate social circle is obese, you have a 45% greater chance of or likelihood of being obese yourself. And I found that really fascinating. And then he also went on to talk a little bit about, you know, like the second line, like friends of friends, and then friends of friends of friends, and how far that circle spreads around. So be very aware that the people close to you can really affect how you live and the choices that you make when it comes to health and fitness. It's very, very difficult if you have lived a certain way for a very long time to change habits and have everybody jump on board. And that's what we're going to discuss tonight, because I don't feel that you obviously should give up your friends and family in order to become healthy. However, if they tend to be not helpful in reaching your goals, you might have to distance yourself just a little bit until you can create the healthy habits that help you get through that. And so, of course, in my case, my first couple of years of competing, my first couple of seasons, you know, I would bring my own food to family functions, and of course that didn't go over so perfect. They were a little offended, but you know, my goals were a little bit bigger, and I really kind of had to educate them as to what my goals were, and how this was going to help me reach those, and that some of those things that I had to do were temporary. You know, I'm not always going to bring fish to Christmas dinner, but when you're in the middle of contest prep, you know, that is something that you do. However, I am no longer in competition prep, and I am fully retired from competing. So now it's all about finding that happy medium. However, it still is about living a healthy lifestyle. Fortunately, I've done it long enough that people just kind of expect me to eat a certain way and to do certain things. So The first thing I want to talk about is that when you are working, especially if this is a big change, if this is something that you've really struggled with, maybe you are extremely overweight. Again, been there, so I can talk about this freely because I was obese. 46% body fat is considered obese. Your part of your social connection is going to have to change. If you find that you go all out to lunch a lot with friends and you tend to share food or order similar things, that is part of it. And again, you do need to understand that peer and social pressure is part of our adult lives. That doesn't go away. And sometimes it's even worse because if it's a family atmosphere, a family connection where, feelings can get really hurt and rifts can be created within a family dynamic, you got to be really careful how you bring things up and how you're going to make that change so that they understand that this is for your health and for better. So realize that the social aspect of it is a very powerful motivator in both directions, and it could be family, it could be coworkers. Again, it's people that you tend to spend a lot of time with. So be aware, you kind of have to have some couth when you deal with this, but you do kind of have to retrain everybody to understand why you're doing what you do. So keep that in mind. And the people close to you are going to resist change. We as humans do not like change. Daniel has said he's laughing because he's eating a hamburger. I'm going to throw that at you, Daniel. I'm just kidding. They're going to resist the change. And so, and sometimes they're kind of sneaky and quiet about it, and sometimes they're just flat out blatant, like how unhappy they are with your situation, or maybe they tease you, or maybe they're just flat out rude. It does happen, and they may very well be intimidated by the change that you're choosing to make. Sometimes it's because they know that they're not willing to make the change themselves. I like to tell people that people want you to do well, they just don't want you to do better than they are. So whether or not they're willing to put the time and effort, or maybe the self-control, I can't even think of the word. I had a great word in there. Putting themselves in a place where they can actually work hard towards that. They might just try to make it hard for you because it's the whole misery loves company. If they're not willing to go there, why should you? Because does that make you better than me? Be aware that does happen. We're all human. We tend to feel a little bit of jealousy or a little bit of competition going on, and it's not you. Don't take it personal. You're just going to have to approach that and maybe have a conversation with them. So people really do fear change. Again, don't take it personally. It's not you, right? It's them. But that is going to be part of what you will need to kind of approach and deal with. Also remember that, your relationships with people will eventually change, whether it's right in the beginning, whether it's, even if it's just people kind of distancing themselves. I had a lot of friends that, like I said, they don't invite me to do anything anymore because for the longest time, I don't get drunk. I don't eat a bunch of crap. I tend to make really great choices. And I had to learn to be okay with that. And I did in the interim actually discover a few of them chose to distance themselves because they thought that I was disappointed in them. And honestly, I don't judge. That is their choice. If they, choose to live a certain lifestyle, that's none of my business really. But I'm not going to make concessions myself in order to spend time with them, although I would love to spend time with them. They're my friends. So yeah, Bruce says he'd rather have his health. I totally agree. And sometimes I have to kind of think to myself, yeah, I am giving up some things. I'm giving up some friends. I'm giving up some time with people that I really care about. Most of the time it's their choice, not mine. But this is how I want to look and feel, and that's my choice. So that's the things, those are what I'm going to do in order to be where I want to be. So your relationships may change. However, one of two things usually happens. Actually, you may inspire the people around you, and it might take some time, especially for a family. For the longest time at my house, the rule was, you can eat whatever you want. Not really, but you know what I mean. You can have that donut or that cookie, but don't bring it home. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be tempted by it. I have a big goal, and I need your support in that. So if you make that choice, that's fine, but don't bring it home because that's not something that I want to deal with. However, that being said, my family since then has actually jumped on board. They've watched what I've done for myself. And even my teenagers have told me how much I've inspired them, which of course makes the mother cry. but how amazing is that, that I can help them with their health goals, and change their lifestyle for the better. So going into becoming adults, they're going to have some great habits and some things that they can take with them and have a great health. And I love that. My family, almost my entire family, is on meal plans. Their choice, not mine. They cook their own food. I buy it. They cook it. The only one who is not on is my 9-year-old, who does not care. And I think eventually he will get there. However, he is excited about starting a new sport. He is going to be playing tackle football. So, still getting everybody the right direction, and making a positive atmosphere for everybody. So that's pretty exciting. But the other thing that can happen is, they may slowly remove themselves from your life. And, gosh, maybe that's for the better. I hate to say that, but in some situations where, they haven't been a positive example in your life, or maybe they're not a great support, that may need to happen. So again, I don't want to necessarily give you examples at this moment, just because some of the situations for me are very close people who might be watching this, but I still love them. I just don't spend a lot of time with them, and it was their choice if they don't want to spend time with me. I can't help that, and I've kind of learned to, I kind of had to play problem, who has the problem. It's not my problem, but it is what it is. So and at this point in my life and my health, I've been living this lifestyle for just over 7, almost 8 years. People just know that, I eat a certain way. I still splurge once in a while, but it's a very specific splurge. And honestly, when I'm going to splurge, I tell people, whatever it is that I'm eating, I know I'm gonna have to work it off. So it's better be the best dang chocolate lava cake I've ever had in my life, because I know how much cardio I have to do to work that thing off. So I'm very, very specific and very picky about what I eat and when I choose to eat. And most of my family knows I don't do buffets. I don't do, I'm way into quality over quantity when it does come to my splurge. So, that happens. Also, so if you have a health goal and if you're really trying to make a change in your life, one of the things you're going to have to do is surround yourself with people that are like-minded to you. So if you are starting a new exercise regimen, if you are working to eat a little bit different, a little bit healthier, if you choose to become vegan or vegetarian, you are going to need to surround yourself with people that have like goals and that can support and cheer for you, because it is hard to do it on your own. Fitness is a highly social atmosphere, whether it's at the gym, at a class, any of those things. And even though I tend to lift by myself, I still am surrounded by people with like goals, and sometimes we just need that support and that cheering and that excitement that they bring to it. So a couple ways to do this. It's totally up to you. I always tell people you kind of have to find your groove. We're all different. We all like different exercises. One of those ways might be you might meet people at group classes. Now, I don't do Zumba. My girlfriend Christina can attest to that. She's watched me. She knows that I have 2 left feet. I don't know. I've tried. But group class, people love group classes, and more power to you. So if that's something that you love to do, and you might meet some great people who cheer you on, and they're waiting for you every time at that class, what a great way to have some people in your life that have similar goals. Also, there's running and walking groups, people that get together, whether it's, I've seen like senior groups that get together and walk the malls. I've seen all kinds of great options. So find a group of people that have like-minded goals, and like the same activities that you like. A really great one, adult sports leagues. Okay, I know we put kids into, some things to do because we want to keep them active. However, why, if you liked soccer as a kid or baseball as a kid, why not find a group that does that activity now? Now, a word of caution, I happen to know several groups that do like co-ed baseball. Sometimes it's more about the beer at the game than it is about the activity. So keep that in mind, that you got to find the right group, and that it's not necessarily about running the bases while drunk. So that's just something to think about. You might just find the gym that works for you. If you tend to go to the gym at the same time of day, you're going to see the same people, and you become you become cheerleaders for each other and friends, and that's a great aspect of it. So, find a gym that you're comfortable at. I always tell people comfortable and convenient is the gym that's for you. Or it might not be a gym. It could be a dojo. It could be a CrossFit box. Doesn't matter to me. Find a place where you feel comfortable and the people make you feel good. That's a great opportunity for you. Another great idea is skill-based classes, and that could be anything. That could be a healthy cooking class. That could be some sort of a self-defense class. My daughter wants to go take a kickboxing class, so we're gonna go figure that out and see if we can't do something fun together. And I loved kickboxing. Man, what a great stress release. You just kill the bag. It works great. So that's a great option. Social media, I have found that at least for the people that I communicate with on social media, and I'm very specific about my social media, you do have to be careful because sometimes you can compare yourself to other people. Sometimes there are people on there that tend to, the trolls, the whatever you want to call them. I find it such garbage to deal with some of the negativity. And I'm personally very, very quick to delete people, block people when I start to have some negative things happening on there, because you know what, that's not what this is for. When you tend to have a group of people that have similar goals, we want to cheer for each other. There's no reason to compete in life with these people unless it's on the stage, and that's a whole different ball game. So social media can be a great way to meet people of like-minded ideas and to support each other. And from what I've seen, especially locally in the area that I live, man, different sports. I mean, we're talking about powerlifters, CrossFit, wow, we've got just a real variety of people. It's just all about health, and they support each other, and I love it. I just get so excited when I see people cheering each other on. That makes me super happy. Maybe you find a race or some sort of fit event. I know that recently here in the Tri-Cities, they did a fit day. Whatever you can find, you're going to find people who are all about the healthy lifestyle, and that's super important. So again, just to kind of tie everything together, it's not that you have to get new friends to replace your old friends. However, if you can see that you are struggling with making good choices because of the current friends that you're spending a lot of time with, you may have to temporarily spend a little less time with those people until you can either get them on the same page as you, or that you have created some healthy habits and a lifestyle that the things that they do don't bother you and don't tend to pressure you into making choices that you don't want to make. But do surround yourself, meet new friends. Why not? It's not like you can ever have too many friends. Put some great people in your life. Again, those people will help not only motivate you, but maybe you'll learn some great things from them as well. So hopefully that helped you this evening. I know it's kind of an interesting topic, but I really do find that even as adults, sometimes we really struggle to get the direction we want to go, because sometimes it's a lonely road, and it doesn't have to be. So hopefully that helped you out. If you guys have any questions, you guys, I get my best ideas from you. You can always leave a comment below. You can email me at melissa@fillmorefitness.com. And again, no Q&A Wednesday next week, but the following week we will have 2 nights, Q&A Wednesday, and also a special edition on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So have an incredible evening, and thanks for tuning in.